1:45 for Super Cheap Auto. He's currently sitting in 16th position. Corley Jones moves it up into 14th position, so Lee Holdsworth, Chris Pith and Todd Hazelwood and Jack Smith are down in the bottom 4 positions at the moment. Lee, as I speak, jumps up into the top 10.
Coisford exit, checkered flag, please. Checkered
flag is now out, and Courtney on screen is now 14th in car number 44 for Boost Mobile. So 6.29, the best number as McLaughlin comes in, as we pick up Gary Jacobson. Yellow cover backing on the Maidstone Racing entry. Out of the hairpin for him, so 8/100ths of a second. No question that we're seeing speed from Team 18 at the moment. Scott Pye motoring along nicely. He was on the podium last weekend, and his teammate Mark Winterbottom, you can see in 8th place there. So 0.45 of a second covering the top 10 cars. Whincup very racy once again, and expectations are that we're going to continue to see that wonderful battle between he and Scott McLaughlin. LeBrock heads the next group from Reynolds, Kelly, Courtney, De Pasquale, Macaulay Jones moved up near the back end, Heimgartner, Fullwood, Davison and Goddard. And the 4 drivers whose names will be dulled off here are the drivers that do not progress. They've now frozen their position for the start of this afternoon's sprint race. It was interesting back at 10, he had a couple of stabs. He grabbed the throttle, decided against it, went back, went to the brake, went back to the throttle. So he's chasing that car a little bit at the moment, Chaz Mostert. He's 16th, as Mark pointed out. Is this going to be enough? It is. He moves up 4 spots to 12th. That gets him out of jail on a 6.5. But that car didn't look nice enough through turn 10, did it?
No, not at all. So, who's now in trouble?
Well, Heimgartner's on the fringe. He's sitting 15th at the moment. Reynolds is out. Kelly's out. Jones, Davison, Goddard. 16 through to 20 at the moment, vulnerable. Chaz Mostert on screen. So that lap digs him out. We're just coming up to the checkered flag being deployed. So that moves Chaz through to the next portion, which will be the top 15 shootout. Well, David Reynolds is back in the pit lane, so he's all over.
I'm just about to say, it just blows me away. David Reynolds to miss out on the final 15. He's always had great pace here.
So Frosty will be the last runner in the top 15 shootout. There's a turn up. Bryce Fullwood, huge swing in the last 7 days in performance. Well done, Bryce and everybody in the team. Fabian Coulthard, Pye, McLaughlin, Van Gisbergen, Waters, Percat, De Pasquale and Holdsworth, your top 10. But our focus is on the top 15 for our shootout, which is the 3rd and final portion of this quali session. Courtney, Mostert, Whincup, LeBrock, Heimgartner. Jamie Whincup down the order a little after Armour All qualifying in the first portions of it, but it doesn't matter, he's in the shootout. He's got a chance for another Armour All pole. He's done it 3 times so far this championship season, and he was a formidable force last weekend, car number 88, Red Bull Holden Racing Team. And he came back from a shocking start earlier on Saturday and moved ultimately his career win tally onto 120. He sits at the top of the tree in that regard.
He was deep under brakes on the way into turn 1 then. 22.83. That's very close to as good as we've seen in the first sector. He was so deep into turn 1. He battled to get it stopped. He did a really nice job. Gets out of 6. This is where he had that big moment last weekend. We'll give you another sector number in a second. 22.96. So that's also pretty strong. Anything better than a 23 in sector 2 looks pretty impressive. So at the second sector, if we can get it onto the straight, this is probably a 6.3 or a 6.4 on normal numbers.
It just cranked sideways a little as he picked the throttle up out of the final corner. Better than that. It's the best we've seen all weekend, a 6.1.
Currently P1.
That's a very good job.
Cooling it off and getting this lap.
Beautiful.
I'll let you know about scales.
So 17th with that penalty in the first race last weekend after the unsafe pit release, followed by a second and a first. Jamie's listening in the background. Hey, it's Neil, J-Dub. That's an impressive number. A 6.1 looks good on the dash.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I'm really happy with that. Hey, the cloud just come over, so I think there's a 10th or so in that. So I'm not sure what the other boys are going to do, but all in all, we're happy with that lap.
Well done. Have a good run this afternoon. Thanks for talking.
Thank you, boys.
Jamie Whincup gets to do it one more time. Car number 88, the Red Bull Holden Racing Team. He's having a very impressive run so far this championship year. He's second at the moment. He has had 87 career poles now. He heads that tally as well. Look at the margin. 6/100ths of a second. Big improvement for James Courtney. Second row of the grid start for him for our sprint race for this afternoon. Cam Waters, his teammates in this game as well. Shane Van Gisbergen will be a bit frustrated down there in 11th position.